This is this is a video recording preparation for the week beginning 18th of June. This has actually been recorded on Tuesday the 19th of June. So let's start off by looking at the Forex calendar frame major economic news. G20 meeting both Monday and Tuesday, and we'll see what that brings. Also worth noting, we have an FOMC statement, economic projections, and press conference on Wednesday, which is likely to cause some volatility, particularly if there's more hints of QE. We've seen recently that the British announced QE, Bank of England. Now we see that there's also Chinese manufacturing PMI. And the Philly Fed index can sometimes create some volatility, but the main day is Wednesday, as we should watch out for anything happening on Wednesday. So let's go over to the news. Okay, so Greece, they've decided what they want to do, and they formed a government, but Spanish bond yields have risen above 7%. Okay. And this is really what the markets are reacting to. So Greece has actually formed, it's got the pro bailout, pro euro government, but we've now got Spanish bond yields above 7%, which is pretty serious. So let's go over to the futures. So over to the indices. Now let's have a look at, let's do this differently. Let's start with the S&P 500. Okay, so we look to the weekly. We see last week's broke highs and didn't break lows, so we would expect it to do the same. So we go over to the daily, and here we can see this head and shoulders pattern, which I think is likely to play out. And if we project this up from the base of the head, fairly conservative projection, we actually get, I would say around this level is a reasonable target to the upside. Okay. Now you'll also see that there's that 50 moving average, which we did react to yesterday, but we seem to today, Tuesday, we seem to have flown through it. Let's go over to the Dow. And the Dow has also broken its 50 moving average, also formed a head and shoulders pattern. Nasdaq, that's breaking through its 50 moving average, although that looks nearly complete. The head and shoulders pattern looks nearly complete. Let's go over to the Russell. Just remove the IWM. The Russell, and the Russell is considerably the weakest of all the indices. Okay. So let's look at the weaker indice, and you'll see on the Russell that we didn't actually break highs last week. So let's go over and let's have a look at some of the indicators. Let's have a look at the VIX. So you can see, actually, yesterday, VIX got dumped. VIX got dumped pretty heavily. So McClellan's up above 200 there. That's interesting. That suggests that we are overbought and that we're due for a pullback soon. So it may just be a good time to think about going short. Yeah, I'm glad I've noticed that. That's a good spot. HYG. I would say it's less volatile than the stock market. Dow Jones transports, they're actually flown up, and now they're heading to the highs by the looks of it. Let's look at the major carry trade pair. Aussie dollar, Japanese yen. So that suggests Aussie dollar gets stronger. And Japanese and Indian stock markets, Indian and Chinese stock markets, I don't really look at too much. I think the big spot there is the McClellan. That's pretty significant to find that way up here. And this is Monday's data. So if we're up again today, then it should definitely be on for a. I mean, you can see if you pull the data out that the all-time highs. I mean, some of the highest readings you ever get are 300. So if we get a pop-up again today to that sort of level, it's definitely worth thinking about taking a short soon, which is very useful. That's very handy to know. So let's just go over to the Forex now. Let's look at the pound. Okay, let's actually go onto the FinViz and look at it through there. And let's go onto the daily. And you can see here that we are actually Euro putting a big bearish candle yesterday. So I actually want to look at a short on the Euro because I think that's a good opportunity to go short. We've got a trade alert from Kerry Simansky. And this big candle suggests to me that we're going to get some further downside. I'm not really sure about that trade. Do need to do a bit more analysis on that one. Okay. So pound dollar. I'm not really too interested in any of the other trades at the moment. Just keeping my eye on them. I'm not really sure how to trade any of these things. Actually, when I look at this now, I look at how good a trade this was. A head and shoulders pattern, parity. I think you also had a PFX heads up from Nick McDonald there as well. So that was an absolutely fantastic trade to take. Sort of thing that happens once every 3 months or 6 months. Okay, not much to say there about the currencies. I've not really gotten comfortable with trading lots of things yet, so I'm just going to keep my hand in, keep looking at videos, getting ideas. Okay, so let's just have a look at bonds. I'm quite interested. Bonds are down today. Okay, so that's gone into a bit of not exactly what I was expecting, but I mean for a weekly, for a weekly prep. There you go. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.